Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fantastic episode of The Left Wing. I am TJ Whitehead, Powers Taken I've given, joined as always by the country's newest married man, John Cooper Paz of Counterpoint Politics. How are you doing today, my friend?
Doing very well, TJ. For those of you wondering, I had the best wedding ever. Absolutely. I talked to God, number one, so you guys don't have to try anymore. Go ahead and tell your significant others that it's not even worth trying. It'll never live up to it. TJ, am I even exaggerating here?
Listen, folks. I had the distinct honor of getting to meet John in person over this weekend in beautiful San Diego, California, which would have been a great enough occurrence in and of itself, but not glazing John because I talk to him all the time and everything. But honestly, that may have been the best wedding I have ever attended. It was. I'll let John give the details on it about how he won the wedding and how it was on the ocean and all that. But I want to say, just from an attendee's point of view, I struggle to think of a wedding that had more emotional and heartfelt speeches throughout the duration of the entire event. Everyone that had the microphone in front of them knocked it clear out of the park, and I felt like I was part of these two families, and I was meeting them for the first time. It was incredible.
Yeah, it was. It really was that good. Like, we knew I was gonna knock my vows out of the park.
Oh my god!
I think we all knew that, but really, everyone did. Everyone did a great job. It was emotional. The party was great too. It was out on a boat. We had the very incredible fortune to win a free wedding on a boat out in San Diego. I got to live the life of the wealthy elites, TJ, for about a week, and it was utterly wonderful. I understand why they have the politics they do, because I wouldn't want to give that shit up either. But I did. We're back now, and I think that's enough wedding talk. Maybe we'll chat a little bit at another point. I know.
Oh no, it's not. It is not. No. There's more wedding talk here. No,
there's more wedding talk.
I wanted to mention this. That I told John during the wedding that I forgot that you won this wedding in a contest. I completely forgot about that. So I'm there standing on this boat and rocking in the waves and with the DJ and the bar and all that. And I'm just looking at this and I said, wow, it figures that John, from whatever, the upper class background that he's from, he's really showing his colors here. This makes perfect sense. I cannot wait to roast him on the show for this. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. My girlfriend, he won this race. Oh man, my heart sunk. That was the only down point of the wedding, when I realized that I couldn't roast John for this, this extravagance.
Yeah, it was wild. I can't believe that, like, we got to do that. Just utterly unbelievable. And I'm very glad you were there, TJ. I was literally this morning, I was like, fuck, we didn't actually get a picture on one of our phones of a. We're gonna have to wait for the wedding photographer to send us the photos.
Well, because we had planned to see each other the next day. So yeah, John had the wedding on the boat, and the next day he had like an event at the villa he was at. I was planning on going. I was also visiting my family over that weekend, and I was with them the entire. And they live on the other side of San Diego. Like it was like an hour and a half away. And I realized as time was going on, oh man, I am not going to be able to drive an hour and a half, hang out with John, drive an hour and a half back, and get up at 3 for my flight the next day. I was like, oh, this isn't going to work. And I felt really bad about that, but we would have gotten the picture then. The professional photographer definitely got a picture of us as well, I think, though.
Yeah, he did. So we will have content out there for viewers of the Left Wing. But yeah, it was very good. You'll see the distinct height differential between me and TJ.
The documented proof that we actually did meet each other. Incredible. I feel weird like telling people about an event they didn't attend, but because it's hard to convey how incredible that was, how amazing. In a strong, and I mean strong, field of competition, I think my favorite speech was Yolani's mom when she was talking about her real when she got pregnant with Yanni and how she wanted to raise her and the person she become. And it was translated. She spoke in Spanish. Incredibly emotional, incredibly powerful, fantastic way to end the speeches.
Yeah, no, they did great. I was saying the translation, they did exactly right. The comedic timing of one little sentence, one little sentence, one little. It worked perfectly. I know they didn't intend for it to be that way, but I was like, that's pretty good. So yeah, thank you very much for coming, TJ. I am now John Cooper Paz. I've changed all my handles to it, I think. What do you think about the whole taking the name thing, DJ? Would you? Because I was like, well, if you want to just keep my name, that's okay. But if you don't, then we have someone at the door right now, and I have no idea who it is because no one ever hits the door. But I was just like, well, if I would never ask someone to do something that I wouldn't do myself. So she was like, I like Paz. Paz is a cool name. It means peace. And so I was like, let's just keep them both. And that's what we ended up doing.
I didn't know that's what that meant. But you were talking about it earlier, and Paz Cooper doesn't sound as good as Cooper Paz, but then the Cooper Pazes doesn't sound as good as the Paz Coopers. Like, so it's tricky. I don't know. Here's my question. Why did you go with the hyphens anyway, instead of each of you keeping your individual names? What was that?
Well, we want. So you're saying, like, why didn't I just stay Cooper? Why didn't she just stay Paz?
Yeah.
So because like we wanted to have one name, like we wanted to have one name to be our family name, and have it be that way. So that's the reason why. Because if we have kids, they're gonna want to. TJ, go talk about something for like 30 seconds here, because I got to get this door right now.
Okay,
my dog is going to go crazy. This is a very informal show we got going on here.
Yes, hey.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, I just want to say that I didn't know that John was going to have kids. Have another John running around should be a pretty fun thing. But listen, folks, like I left this. By the way, this is our Q&A show we have on Tuesday. So if you have any questions for us, let us know. We'll get right to it. But John had an incredible wedding, incredible setup. His family's amazing. I got to meet his parents, his brother, and his wife, his fiance at the time, Yolani. I didn't meet her parents, but I was around there at the time. I brought my girlfriend there. It was just an amazing event. Couldn't ask for anything better. Got to see my family, my brother, my sister, my mom, and my dad all live in San Diego. Which people, if you have never been to San Diego, just go, just do it. Every time I go to San Diego, I never want to leave. I always just am amazed at how beautiful one singular location can be. My sister lives out there. She got married in San Diego, and I asked my brother-in-law, hey, it's really nice out here. It's about 75 degrees, nice little ocean breeze and going on and everything. How often is it like this? He said every day, every single day. San Diego stays the exact same all the time. It's incredible. It's a little bit cooler this time than when I went in previous times, but we got a comment here. I didn't even see it right there. Oh boy, go buy the wife something nice, King. George Soros coming through for us, John. George Soros giving gifts the right way online, not paper like like some losers.
TJ, I don't know if you just said you brought a gift, but like all the emails I sent out, like, don't bring gifts on the boat. If you drop them off here if you want them, but like just send us like money, get something virtual. TJ is the only person who did not listen to the emails and brought a physical gift onto the boat.
It seems so much classier to have it in a bag and an envelope, right? I don't know. That's just me. Like, directions be damned.
All right. So TJ, I have barely been paying attention to any of the news for the past several days. I was catching up a little today. But what the fuck's been going on?
Yeah, same here. When I was getting the show ready, I was like, man, I don't really know what to talk about because we've been kind of busy traveling and stuff and getting everything ready this last week, honestly. In fact, The reason that I mentioned why I'm here, like I am not home right now. I'm not traveling. This is my office traveling. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do the show from the office and everything. It's the only place I could. So yeah, I'm not keeping up with things either. I saw in the news the air traffic controllers have stopped showing up to work, meaning John and I made it in the nick of time, man. Like we got back right when things started. I got back Sunday. I got back Sunday, and I saw that there were lots of delays on Monday, even more today. What have you seen?
Yeah, no, I got back, like, I took the red eye Sunday night and got back at like 6 a.m. on Monday. And yeah, the government is shut down. This is not breaking news to anyone.
Yeah, what?
I am okay. Let's make our predictions here, because
Ooh.
I think this is going to last a long, long fucking time. I think that this is going to last at least 2 months at minimum. What do you think?
Whoa, 2 months. Oh, so I don't know. I think the longest one in recent history was what, 31 days?
Yeah. Also
Yeah, I can't imagine it going too much longer than that. I just can't. A lot of these, the agency I work for, we have like a few weeks where we think we'll be fine. Everything after a month, it's kind of tricky. And then so many people will be, like the peasants at the gate, or whatever, or not, or even if they're not in desperate situations, they're just not going to go for work. People aren't going to go into work when there's no guarantee they'll get paid, when you got to provide childcare, and you just can't afford to do it. I don't think it'll last 2 months. One is where I would put my limit at.
So it was one last time, right? And that is when you really started to feel the pain at about that month mark, and that's when they got their shit together. The reason why I think it's going to last a while is because Republicans seem like, unlike last time. Like last time there was this back and forth or whatever. They seem just dead set on just lying their way through it. And Trump is like, this is great. I'm going to fire everyone. He said today, he threatened, he's like, oh, we're not even going to give back pay for these days. And it's like, I think he wants to blow it all up. And I don't think that's a smart move politically for him. But also, I don't expect him to make smart moves politically for him. So, like, again, I really don't know how much pressure can be applied to him, how crazy things can get, how bad it has to get for him to say, you know what, I'm wrong. I'm gonna cave to the Democrats. I just don't see this version of Donald Trump doing that. And from the Democrats side, I mean, if Jeffries and Schumer cave, that's the end of their political careers, however much longer they may last. Like, they're dead set on this. The Democrats want to give health care to illegal immigrants, which just isn't true. It's really difficult for me to continue to watch them say this because it's an abject lie. Like, it's not even a stretch of the truth. It just isn't true in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. And they're just sticking with it. And that's their story. And that's what they're running with. And I see no reason for, if they're going to deny reality right now, why not just continue to deny reality forever? Like, what do they have to lose? I don't know. There's just, no one has anything to gain from reopening the government unless somehow someone's able to pressure Trump.
Ordinarily, I wouldn't agree with you. And I still don't know if I do, because I do think that enough pressure can be mounted. Not even if Trump feels immune to it. I mean, he could veto it, but I feel like the Republicans, like, their careers are on the line.
The congressman, like it could hurt them big time.
Yeah, it hurts them bad, and so supporting Trump at that point becomes, kind of meaningless if your constituency is pissed off at you. But the one thing that makes me think you might be onto something with this continuation is, for the life of me, I don't understand why the Republicans, who at least outwardly, I remember before the shutdown happened, they were acting like they didn't want one. Like they seemed like pretty annoyed by it and everything. Why don't they just do reconciliation? Just do a 51 votes to get it through. They can. They absolutely can. They don't need to do the filibuster. They can go nuclear option on this, or just to make a filibuster carve out. It happens all the time, and they don't. I don't understand why. I just it's odd to me that they haven't considered that. And the illegal alien thing, yes, I've seen this so many times. Mike Johnson keeps pushing this out every time he's on TV or he's making.
No, I was agreeing. Like, yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
Every time he's on TV, every time he takes an interview, he starts saying, well, the Democrats just want to extend tax credits or extend health care to illegal aliens. And people have been calling him on it. Like, these last few days, we've been saying, wait a minute, you guys keep saying this, but there's no provision anywhere in the budget or anything proposed by the Democrats to grant Medicare, Medicaid, Obamacare subsidies, anything, like any government assistance for medical coverage for illegal aliens. Why do you keep saying this? And they've been reduced to saying, well, undocumented immigrants can receive help at emergency rooms. And like, yeah, They've always been able to do that.
Yeah,
That's kind
no
of
shit.
but
We don't just let people die.
it's just
Like again, anyone who like thinks, hey, you know what? You're illegally in this country. If you're having a heart attack, doctors should let you die. Go fuck yourself. Like, go fuck yourself all the way. I don't care. We're not having a conversation about politics anymore. We're having a conversation
yeah.
about basic human decency at the most base fundamental level of I can't even imagine telling a doctor, nope, you have to let that person die. Like, that's
And
insane.
also, how would it work exactly? Someone comes in with a gunshot wound or a broken leg, and they say, "All right, we'll treat you. Hold on. Let's see your birth certificate. Hold on,
We have
let's
to
see your
look up your
naturalization
documentation
paper."
status. Yeah. And then you have Americans dying at that point because, oh, they got their healthcare 15 minutes later because they had to check a fucking citizenship test and, oh shit, you're dead now. Like, that
Yeah.
will happen if that was the actual system that you wanted.
This man has been in a car accident and he's in a coma. He doesn't have his wallet on him. Well, no one treat him. We're not sure what his nationality is. It's like it's an insane proposition, and that's also here's the third part of this. I don't know. None of this really is clicking for me because yeah, it's hard to see the end game for Republicans here. For me, it actually is kind of difficult because the Democrats, let's say Schumer and Jeffries do capitulate, they do cave. I don't think that's gonna help them politically, right? But I mean, look, people voted for them multiple election cycles, and they've always been the same person. So maybe it would hurt them, maybe it wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
If they do, the reason the Democrats are holding back on this is because the Trump administration wants a bunch of subsidies and cut a bunch of people off healthcare and raise premiums, like several $100s a month. If they go ahead and go through with that, wouldn't that hurt the Republicans either way? I can't imagine like if people just wait and say, oh yeah, now my medical care is a lot higher. Thank God we got Trump in there. Like, I can't help them either, right?
Well, that's why I think it's going to last a while, DJ, because it does if again, it's impossible to know all of the conversations being had behind closed doors right now. But it seems to me that the most reasonable explanation for this, because you're right, there is no end game for Republicans. If we were playing by normal rules, right, the end game for Republicans would be convince America that this is the Democrats' fault and get the pressure on them. But the problem is they failed to do that last time. Like last time when Trump was president and they shut down the government, they failed to convince America that it was the Democrats' fault, and they caved a month later. Hi, Kyle. And then they're doing it again now with an even flimsier narrative. Like, again, their narrative is just a straight up lie. It cannot be stated enough times that their ostensive reasoning for not negotiating with the Democrats is that the Democrats want to give illegal immigrants health care, which A, still wouldn't be a good reason to shut down the government and not negotiate with Democrats, and B, isn't true, just is not true. What the Democrats want is to get rid of the narrowing or the expansion of the requirements that narrowed the pool of American citizens and legal immigrants who could receive health care. And it's just, I don't think they're going to be able to win this messaging war. As bad as the Democrats are, they're in power. And so the default stance of your average American who doesn't listen to anything is the Republicans are obviously to blame. They're in power. Like, you got to keep the government running. That's like the one thing like you definitely have to do if you're in charge of the government is keep it running. And they're not doing it. So they're going to lose that. So I think this is mostly a Russell Vought and Stephen Miller. We want to consolidate as much power within the executive branch as we can. And the best way to do that is to break the entire government. Like, I genuinely think that is the game plan that they are currently trying to execute. I don't think they're playing normal politics here, which is why I think this can go on for a long time.
Yeah, it's among the worst messaging I've ever seen for a government shutdown. And I don't know. Because let's say that's their end goal is to just break down the government and everything. Breaking down the government and bringing everything to a screeching halt has a lot of downstream effects that doesn't help anyone, Republicans included, or the Trump administration. You know, like it's already being having it seen with air travel. Donald Trump shutting down air travel for 2 months. There's just no way that helps him. But I mean, if you can implement all the Project 2025 shit you want, people are going to lose their mind. Like we're gonna stop commerce, we're gonna stop business, stop travel. People have 1 week of vacation a year, and Donald Trump takes it away from you, and you know he did. For those of us who do have the vacation time, I don't know. It's I do think it's fascinating you brought up Russell Vaught. That did you see that Trump? He tweeted out something that said. Russell Vaught of Project 2025 is helping us out with X, Y, and Z. Did you ever see?
Yeah, no, it's just like all of the lies that he made of I've never heard of Project 2025 before during the campaign, and now he's just tweeting it out like of 2025's fame. Like, I know we don't expect logical consistency or even like a desire to tell the truth from these people, but I honestly I think that Matt Walsh had it right immediately after they won the election, and when he tweeted out, "Can we stop pretending to not know what Project 2025 is now?" Like, and yeah, that doesn't bother me because I always knew that he was lying about that, and like I even said, DJ, I believe I said on the show, if we had some version of that on the left, where we had this extreme left-wing agenda that we were planning to push through, but it wasn't palatable to the average American, I would also lie. I would want my politicians to lie about that. And so I imagine that the Republicans who understood that, that's what, that's how they felt and don't care. And even the independents were like, yeah, we understand what's actually being said when he says he's never heard of it before. But like, I can't imagine the people who, like, there must be some people who believed him. Like you wouldn't be saying it if no one would believe you. So like the people who believed him, do they give a shit? Like I don't like it's insane.
Also, the people who didn't believe it, or just took his word for it, they don't really know what Project 2025 is anyway. It's just like we know what it is, but I don't think your average conservative knows what it is. I really don't. It's like you have the people who really, really care about Project 2025 that know about it. I think the vast majority of Republicans don't. I just think they saw polls that said, well, this has kind of a negative connotation. Most people couldn't tell you what's in Project 2020. Hell, I barely can tell you like a bare bone structure of it, but it was like a 900-page document or something. I don't think that, but I do think it's funny that he comes. Oh yeah, I knew, yeah. And I like the guy. Also, Russell Vaught was the director of the Office of Management and Budget under Trump. You know what he did under the first Trump administration? He was the director of the Office of Management and Budget. It's just the same thing. Like it's like so Trump pretending that he didn't know about it is kind of funny. I saw Kyle commented here. What do you guys think of Trump planning to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell? Did you see what I think Kyle is talking about here? Trump being asked about Ghislaine Maxwell today?
I'm going to be honest. No, I didn't. This is the first time hearing of it, but I did just look it up. And I read what he said. Well, let's play it here.
John, I gotta say that I will never get tired of you doing the I'm hearing this for the first time bit. Like it's so good. Like I wish I could never think of it immediately, but it's so funny whenever you're doing it. Because for those of you who wondering what we're discussing here, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, Trump stepped out of a plane. It was at night, and Trump stepped out of a plane, and reporters flooded him. Like, Mr. President, what do you think about the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg? He goes, she died? I didn't know that. You're telling me this for the first time, which is something no one has ever said whenever they found out new information, especially cataclysmic, huge news information. I'm hearing this for the first time. You're telling me for the first time. So, yeah, I love that, John. But, yeah, here's the clip that we were discussing with Trump being asked about Maxwell.
Say it.
The Supreme Court is back, and
yeah.
They rejected today an appeal by Ghislaine Maxwell to overturn her conviction. That means her only chance of getting out of prison is a pardon from you. Is that something you're?
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I would have to take a look. Did they reject that?
She wanted to appeal her conviction.
And what happened?
They said that they were not going to hear her appeal.
I see. Well, I'll take a look at it. I will speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't consider it or not consider. I don't know anything about it. So, but I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be a candidate from?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
But she was convicted of child sex trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at it. I have to ask DOJ. I didn't know they rejected it. I didn't know she was even asking for it, frankly.
Look, I don't know what to say Like I genuinely don't know like how I am supposed to process this because Trump lies all the time, right? Like Trump just brazenly, bald-faced lies. He lies so much it's pretty much a language. And then when asked, "Hey, do you plan on pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell?" He might be, he might not. But even if he knows, like he is dead set. Okay, the last day of my administration, I am signing that pardon for Maxwell with a smile on my face. Even in this case, why not just lie? Why not? Of course, I'm not going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, why not? I don't understand it.
So there's so many levels in that clip to the Donald Trump experience, right, DJ? Because first we have just brilliant. Who? Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yes.
I haven't heard of her. I haven't heard her name in so long. As if it isn't something that has been repeated like over the course of the last several months, over and over again. It's like when like you're cheating and your significant other goes, "Hey, so did you hear about the person you're cheating with?" And you're like, "Oh, Susie? Oh, I haven't heard about Susie in so long." like clearly lying. And then I actually do believe him that he hadn't heard this news because this has been a continuous thing of Trump part 2 is he does not have like briefings. He doesn't listen to them. All of the information he gets is from Fox News. Like he literally that it was reported the other day that he had a conversation with the governor of Oregon about the invasion of Portland. And the governor of Portland would talk to him on the phone. This is what the governor of Portland said. And he said, I told him, I was like, there's nothing going on here. Like there's protests outside the ice facility, but it's been like 14 to 20 people for the past 2 weeks. What are you talking about? And Donald Trump told him, but what do you mean? I just saw it on the news last night that Portland was like burning down. And it turns out that Fox News the night before played a clip from the 2020 George Floyd protests and said it was Portland today. And that's why Donald Trump thinks that Portland is burning down, and it's why we have the military in Portland right now. Like that is the insane information gathering system that Donald Trump has. And we've seen this multiple times where reporters asking about things and he's like, "Oh, tell me about it. I haven't heard about this. I'm only the president of the United States." And he just doesn't know. He just doesn't know. And why wouldn't he say it? Because he's off the cuff and he doesn't think there's any consequences for his behavior anymore, DJ. Like he just genuinely is like, "Yeah, no, I'll consider it. She's a good friend of mine. Why wouldn't I? Wouldn't you go along with that? Obviously, I'm in charge. I get to do this. I get to pardon whoever I want. That's the rules. And it doesn't matter." And even the reporter was like, "You do realize she's a convicted sex trafficker?" And he's like, "I'll have to talk to the DOJ about it." Like that's just it's just Donald Trump. Like there's no part of that surprised me.
Oh, I do love it. That is really funny that he pretended he didn't know who she was. He pulled an Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ghislaine Maxwell. There's a name I've not heard in a long, long time. As if there aren't like 36 pictures of him hanging out with Ghislaine Maxwell over the years, and that he
posted on every post he makes. People comment with those pictures. Like, come on.
Yeah, and as if he didn't personally sign the paperwork sending her to a minimum security prison, 2 months ago? Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just how he gets away with this is kind of and that's such a good point, which you mentioned that he doesn't really pay attention to what's going on. He watches Fox News and he just kind of riffs and reacts. Trump is honestly living everyone's dream. Trump is living. Yeah. We would all love to be in the position Donald Trump is in, where you just get to watch your favorite shows and comment on them as if they're reality. Like imagine if like John was president of the United States and he gets on TV one day saying, "We really got to do something about this blue meth situation in New Mexico. Like, the cartel is taking the world by storm." And this is not terribly far from the truth, by the way. That is not a wild example. Donald Trump, a little while ago, when you said this, John, I remember he did this insane post talking about how America's most ruthless and violent offenders, we will no longer be held hostage to criminals, thugs, and judges who are afraid to do their job and allow us to remove criminals who came to our country illegally. The reopening of Alcatraz will serve as a symbol of law, order, and justice. We will make America great again. If you guys remember this, Trump made like 5 or 6 tweets talking about how he wants to reopen Alcatraz. And he did that the night after the Escape from Alcatraz played on TV, which no one can convince me that's a coincidence. Nobody can convince me that's a coincidence. And he just says this stuff and gets away with it. I don't know how. I don't know. But it's hard for me to be mad at him because he can't get away with it, right?
Like, honestly, okay, I'm never gonna like genuinely feel bad for Donald Trump in any way, shape, or form. But there was a part of me that's like, kind of how I felt about Kanye, TJ, where I'm like, fuck him, he's a Nazi. We don't like Nazis around here. But I do feel like Kanye's people failed him, and he got taken advantage of, and he suffered from actual mental illness and was pushed down this whole Nazi thing, and no one had the power to tell him no, probably because of himself. Like, he probably made that happen for himself. But at there's a certain human level, I was like, kind of feel bad for the guy. Like, damn, he is his whoever just failed him. He failed himself. This sucks. This is clearly a person who isn't mentally capable of handling the situation they're in. And that's also kind of how I feel about Donald Trump. Unfortunately, he's the president of the United States, and the position he's in is very important. But I just don't think he, like, even compared to Trump 1, I just don't think he has the same mental acuity. And, you know, obviously I'm biased, but don't accuse me of being biased. It's the same fucking thing about Joe. Like, he just ain't all there. He's not all there. He's completely detached from reality at this point. I think he genuinely believes that Portland is being invaded. Like, I think he genuinely believes that, like, there's riots going on in these cities he's sending troops to every single day. I think that's partially because Russell Vought and Stephen Miller and JD Vance are in his ear telling him these things, and maybe even putting things on Fox News to make him think that certain things are real when they aren't. But, like, I think he is at the point where he has drunk the Colgate so much he can't distinguish reality from fiction.
Yeah, I think that probably happened a long time ago, but it's hard to blame him for that because, you know, how people talk about manifestation. Trump is honestly living proof that manifestation works. Trump just wills things into reality. He says it and it happens to come true. So why not? And Heather from Conservative of the Ozarks says, wait, the government invaded Portland. Yeah, that's what John was all that, you know, according to
Portland, by the way, funniest city to invade. But
yes.
If I were to pick all the cities, that'd be the funniest city to invade. Portland, Oregon. Great bit, Donald. Great bit.
This at work today, someone was saying that, you know, Portland's just a bunch of hippies, man. Like, that's the place you're going to go to. Like, the conservative playbook is to go to Chicago, right? Because people think Chicago crime. Like, they still have the stink of Al Capone on Chicago, right? You know, 100 years later. And that's actually what I titled the episode about the Gravy Seals. And I don't know if you saw this image, John, or this picture, but Donald Trump is sending the National Guard into all these major cities. And listen, as a guy who was in the Army, we made fun of the National Guard all the time. We did. If there are any guardsmen out there, I'm sorry, but we did. You know, the weekend warriors, the part-time soldiers and everything. And what's really tricky about this is that Trump is flexing his muscles, showing that he can just defy these cities and these governors, these orders. But what the soldiers are doing, for the most part, is just standing around. They're, you know, patrolling the safest parts of town, and they're picking up trash. That's what's happening. Like, that's what they're doing. The show up for, the people who are doing the actual damage, that's ICE. ICE is doing a million times more damage than the National Guard is doing. But this does play well to Trump's base that, look, I got the big, strong soldiers out there. And I call this about the Gravy Seals because I saw this image this afternoon on ABC. And it showed this image, and it said that Trump is deploying the National Guard to Chicago. And they could have found a better group of soldiers for this picture, I think. Like, these guys are not the spitting image of the steel-eyed, flat-bellied killers that the United States Army wants to portray themselves. But these are the folks that are going to cities. And I have a hard time saying this as someone in my position because I don't want to downplay the danger or the precedent of the president saying, we're going to send in the Guard to take care of crime. Like, doing that at all is a giant red flag. But I don't want to oversell what's actually going on because it's not true. The National Guard's not arresting people. They aren't kicking down doors and effing people up. They're picking up trash. Have you seen any of that, John?
Yeah, we're living. First of all, but by the way, just put this back on the screen here. I just want to say, in my own mental narrative of what happened with this picture, because could it possibly be a coincidence that maybe the 4 fattest members of the National Guard happened to be rolling out of the truck that the press was taking photos of? I have to think that like there was some liberal National Guard commander who was like, "This is the truck they're going to be taking pictures out of." Wazowski, Clifford, you're in this one. You make sure to come out first. Oh yeah, no, it looks great on you. You just go out of there. And like that's why this picture was taken, because wow. Anyway, but no, we live in this weird like quasi reality, this weird middle ground where you're right. It's very fucking serious to send the National Guard into a city, especially against the will of that city. It should be something that is terrifying to people, and that needs to be made clear. There's a clip that went around from a movie. I forget what the movie was called, but it was Denzel Washington and bald guy, Bruce Willis movie. And like Bruce Willis is the army commander, and like they're questioning him, "Hey, what would happen if the army was sent to the city?" And he's like, "Yeah, within 12 hours we could have this, this, and this, but I cannot emphasize this enough. We should never do it. We should never do it." And it's like that was a movie about like an actual terrorist like takeover of New York City. And he's saying, no, we still shouldn't send the army in because it would be a danger to all civilians. And we're just doing it over fucking a bunch of like 12 fucking potheads in Portland sitting outside and protesting the ICE facility. Like, it's insane. And I don't know what to, like, I genuinely don't know what to tell people about it. Like, you're right. It's true. The National Guard ain't doing shit. It's not actually a big deal or a problem right now. But, like, it very easily could be. At any moment, it could go from totally nothing to one of the worst events in American history in the blink of an eye. And we're just sitting here in this, I don't know. Hopefully nothing bad happens. Let's let it play out. And there's nothing we can do about it.
I think this is actually, I mean, I hate to give the devil his due. It is one of the more genius maneuvers of the Trump administration. I hate to say it, but it really is, because it doesn't hurt him with his base at all.
It helps him with the base. It feeds right into his base. It doesn't actually hurt him because no damage is being done.
Well, yeah, and so like Trump says, I'm going to send the National Guard to Chicago, and the pretense is we're going to stop crime. Crime has been falling for 5 years straight, but who cares? You know, Chicago is always a war zone in Republicans' minds. So he sends the National Guard there. Even if I don't know if it's a liberal commander. Oh yeah, with your theory there. I think what it is the reporters took 50 photos. And like, all right, this one had the fattest soldiers, and that.
I thought you were about to say. I don't think it was liberal commander. I think all National Guardsmen are just fat ass.
Oh no. Those were the thinnest soldiers they could find, and so they tried to make the unit look good. No, so Trump sends the National Guard into all these liberal cities under the pretense of stopping crime. The base will love it; they'll eat it up. You know, these criminals, these illegals, they've gotten away with this for way too long. We need to knock some heads around. They love that shit. Now, the Guard doesn't do anything. Doesn't matter. Trump's already got the photo op. He's already got all the libs running around with chickens with their head cut off. Doesn't matter. Now, even if, let's say they do start kicking down doors. Let's say they do start cracking heads. Well, we've already seen they like that too. And it only helps his base. There's nothing that could happen here where the Trump supporters will say, oh, that was a mistake. Almost nothing. I mean, then we have the fact that they can even, the smarter conservatives, they will see that the National Guard is doing what they are doing, is just picking up trash and standing around and saying, look how hysterical the libs are. These folks I saw them on TV for an entire month saying that this was the end of Western society, that we'd have martial law in the streets, and these guys are picking up trash. This is why we can't trust them. It's actually great. And it leaves people like us who are, actually being, because listen, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. There are plenty of liberals out there who said that this is the end. The sky is falling. Here on the show, he said, no, it's not. Like, I guarantee what they're going to do. They're going to stand around. The United States military is not going to start arresting people because most of them aren't cops. The military does have cops, but that's not who they sent. They just sent random National Guard units. So it leaves us in the position of saying, okay, this is bad. It sets a bad precedent. But in reality, nothing wild is happening. That's a weird message to send. So, yeah, got to say, one of the best moves I've seen.
And Kyle says there was a raid on an apartment complex. They took children naked out of their homes in the middle of the night and forced them in the street. They also zip-tied them. They left them for hours. American citizens, American children, zip-tied naked in the street for hours, right? But that's the thing, Kyle. That wasn't the National Guard. Like, that's exactly what
ICE,
TJ
almost.
said. That was ICE. Like,
Oh,
ICE
yeah,
is doing
yeah,
all
that's
of
what
this
it is.
shit. All of the bad shit ICE is doing. The National Guard isn't. And so Americans, they get 2 feet. They get 2 feet. They get, oh, look, the big scary National Guard, they're going around picking up trash. And this sort of shit doesn't get played on Fox News. Doesn't get this. Even this rate didn't get that much traction.
No.
I didn't see much mainstream. Like I saw a couple coverages of it, but like it didn't get a lot of traction. And it's part of the fire hose strategy here. Like, yeah, that shit is terrible. It really makes me sad that like anyone can see it and agree with it. Like, that's the level, like that raid, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. But it's not going to be the National Guard. Like, TJ's 100% right. They're using the National Guard as kind of a smokescreen in multiple ways. In what I would call brilliant if I thought that it was part of a cohesive strategy and not a happy accident for them.
I don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it's not. Either way, it worked out really well. But what actually played the most in the Republicans' favor? Let's say it was the National Guard who did this, right? We would be mad, and but plenty of Americans would say, "All right, I'm sure they had it coming. I'm sure it was perfectly justified, perfectly reasonable." And people get shot by cops every other month, it seems like, and we have the exact same argument. Oh, should the police be like, yes, extrajudicial killings, perfectly fine. Cops should be judge, jury, and executioner. Why not give our soldiers the same authority as well? I don't know. I do think that I don't know. I don't think it is an accident. I think because if they wanted to, they could just say National Guard, start fucking people up, just like they're doing with ICE, and they're not. I think that is actually on purpose. Who knows? But that's my guess.
I guess that is well, but they couldn't though. Like, I mean, okay, they could, but what ICE is doing is under the purview of the law. Like, it's legal what they are doing. If the National Guard were to start doing law enforcement activities, that would be like, we've already seen judges prevent multiple things from happening with the National Guard. That would also end up being prevented in a way that judges cannot prevent ICE from doing. And I think that's why I say it might just be a happy accident playing out that way. Because I actually do think, DJ, if the National Guard could be fucking people up, they would be fucking people up. And I don't mean the National Guard side of things. I mean, the Trump administration would be telling them to fuck people up.
Oh, maybe we'll see. That reminds me where you said that the judges would stop them. I was looking for the tweet while you were talking, couldn't find it, but I saw Matt Walsh tweet something out. I don't know if you saw this, where he said, "It's about time Trump just starts defying all these court orders. There's no reason that these district judges should be able to tell Trump what he can and cannot do with the executive branch." And yeah, I don't see why he won't, honestly, because Trump has shown that he's operating everything on who's going to stop me. And I don't have a good answer for that. Like, I don't. I don't have any answer for that. Even something I've said, I still kind of think, I don't think he'll run for a third term. But if he says he's going to, literally who's going to stop him? Like the election commissions and branches from each state could just say, well, we're not putting him on the ballot. It's against the Constitution.
They wouldn't put him on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no blue state would put him on the ballot.
No blue state would put him on, but he's not going to win those states anyway. And so it's like, yeah, the states that were.
But you have a couple states that are controlled, like Pennsylvania isn't putting him on the ballot. You know, but they're gonna have a blue. They're gonna have a blue governor. They're probably going to have a blue state legislator by 2028. That's speculation, but like, there's going to be a few key states that will not put him on the ballot, and even then, it will be challenged. Even if he somehow won, it would be challenged at the Supreme Court level. And I just cannot imagine the Supreme Court would sit there and say, "Yeah, no, that's all above board," unless they're completely fucking bought out. Like, it would have to be a total, just intentional coup. There's no way to interpret the Constitution in a way that would allow him to be president for a third term. Yeah.
That's a good point about swing. Like, important states probably wouldn't. Pennsylvania's a pretty good one. He's not going without Pennsylvania. So yeah, but all the other stuff that Trump, like, no one stops him, no one gets in his way. He just does whatever he wants. Like the thing with the Venezuelan boats that he blew up, I think two Venezuelan boats, didn't offer a shred of evidence that these folks were drug dealers, or an explanation of why it's okay to blow up drug dealers in the ocean. That's never been something we've done, and we just roll along with it. He makes jokes about it now, like it's no big deal, because it's not, because no one is going to stop him. And it's kind of dark and kind of scary that I don't have an answer for that.
Did we? Wait, this is non sequitur. I mean, not non sequitur. We've touched on this, but did we talk about the sombrero thing at all?
I think so. I think.
Oh,
I
we
think,
did last Thursday. Yeah, he's just continued it. That's another one of those things where I'm just like, come on, guys. What? Why is anyone okay with this? It's not funny. It's just racist, and that's what makes it funny. Why is anyone other than the most than open racist okay with it?
Yeah. Well, and that allows them to turn it around. I've seen like Ted Cruz, I think, talk about this. Is like, well, what's wrong with sombreros? Are you telling me sombreros are racist? Like, well, what are you talking about? They just play right wing politics is all about trolling now. It's not about making any sense. If it's racist and we can just gesture towards white supremacists, that's a win for them, and it is. It works on their base. And when victory for you is almost entirely dependent on pissing off your opponents, they're great at it. I saw a great tweet about this, about how there's a theory of mind that kind of explains right-wing politics today, is that they're all 12-year-olds. That, so you want to be big and strong and live on a farm with 30 kids? Oh, well, of course you think that way. You're a 12-year-old. That's exactly what you think. You shouldn't eat vegetables anymore, and your diet should be nothing but steak and French fries. Oh yeah, you're 12, bro. That's it. If think that they're operating like 12-year-olds, it all makes perfect sense. And arguing with the 12-year-old is kind of a waste of time. But unfortunately, we're stuck in the position where we kind of have to.
I mean, that's entirely true. Like, if you look at so many, they're like, oh, let's send the army. They just want to look big, strong.
Yes.
They don't act. They're like, oh, the illegal, we're getting them the fuck out. If we'll reduce crime by having the army there. That is what a 12-year-old would think. Like the jokes, the sombrero joke. That is what that is a middle schooler joke. Like even if I were to say like that kind of humor is funny, even if I was someone to think deeply, and actually, let me reverse there. There are many racial stereotype jokes which I will still to this day say are funny.
Wow,
that is the most lowest common denominator racial stereotype joke you can possibly imagine. I haven't laughed at a racial stereotype joke like that since middle school. Like it's not even that it's offensive. It's not that I'm like, oh, this is hurtful to someone, so I'm not going to laugh. It's just not funny. It's incredibly contrived. It's just it's embarrassing for a grown ass adult to be making that joke. Again, I will always say, if it's funny, it runs. I'm okay with it. It's just not. It's not fucking funny. It's not even close to funny.
I do agree with John. If something's funny enough, I will give it a pass. I will. If something is funny enough, listen. I at least respect the craft of making a funny joke. But yeah, it's Hakeem Jeffries, who's not even Latino or anything, but he's sympathetic, supposedly, to the plight of Native Americans. Once again, based on a lie that not saying Native, but on Latino Americans and illegal immigrants. And it's like, oh, we got a sombrero and a mustache on him. And now they're doing it all the time. Clips that Trump is sharing. He shares clips of Democrats all with sombreros and mustache. They're like, this is stupid. This is absurd.
It's stupid and absurd, and it's based on a fucking lie. The entire basis for the joke is like you're saying, oh, it's pointing fun at the fact that Democrats want to give fucking healthcare to illegal. No, they fucking don't. That's not true. That's not what's happening. Like, at every level, this fails, and it. I know it doesn't matter, TJ. I know
it doesn't. I know. Right?
I know that I'm like I know that like the correct strategy is to pretend it's not happening. But Jesus fucking Christ, it's infuriating. It's just fucking infuriating, and I know that's what they want. But fuck them.
Yeah. I say just like I wish so much that listen, how much more evidence do we need? We're running late on time, sorry folks, but it's like we're running out of time here. Where people ask Chuck Schumer, well, what do you expect to get out of this? Well, I respect the Republicans to come to their senses. I've been working with these people for decades. I know that they are good, decent human beings, and they do not agree with the extreme position. It's like, what is happening here? Well, what is going on? Like, why are you talking? I wish we had 1/10 of the vitriol and the aggression that the Republicans have. We say this all the time. If you just pull up 10 random Republican speeches, 10, it doesn't matter. President of the United States, a Republican city alderman, a Republican dog catcher. It won't matter. You see them talking, and they will say, these liberal cities, these blue states are hellholes. The Democrats are pedophiles. They are Satan worshipers. They're coming for your kids. That's a standard message. I don't see anything like that on the left. I never see. Gavin Newsom is the only one who I've seen recently saying, yeah, Mississippi is a dog shit state. Have you seen it? Mississippi is falling apart all over the place. You want the country to look like that? Do that. It's right there. And honestly, unlike what the Republicans say, it's true. Like, red states are awful. They're terrible places to live. They're terrible places to raise your kid. They have higher rates of crime, higher rates of murder, higher rates of child abuse. Like pretty much every metric that we can identify as a detrimental society skyrockets in red states. And people are all tepid. Well, we can't insult the backbone of the country. We can't talk about the good, God-fearing folks
the cities are the backbone of the country. Let's be very clear. The cities are the backbone.
Cities are, yes.
We can buy our fucking food from other places if we wanted to. You can't make money.
Yes, we should. On Thursday we should talk about the farmers again. That the farmers and the soybeans. Have you seen this with the soybeans? That China buys $12 billion of soybeans from the United States every year, but due to the trade war with Trump and China and the world, honestly, China has retaliatory tariffs on the United States. And instead of buying $12 billion of soybeans this year, they have bought $0. They have not bought one soybean from the farmers.
Soybean.
They just silos full of this shit, and their of course their economy is tanking. They want bailouts now. And John, I'm sure you've seen them too. I've seen these farmers talk. Says, yeah, I knew Trump was going to do the tariff thing and that it would probably hurt my business, but this is some short-term gain for long-term benefit. I trust Donald Trump's like, oh, we're cooked. It's over. It's done. Like they are going to go bankrupt. They're going to lose the farm, and they're still going to support Trump. It doesn't matter, but I love it. And China is ironically buying from Argentina now, a country we're also bailing out. It's a comedy.
Yep. No. Very, very funny that they're buying the soybeans from Argentina that we're sending $20 billion to because Milei and Elon Musk have a fucking bromance. Like that's the entire reasoning there, which we should be bailing out Argentina, by the way, but like it should come with fucking strings attached. Don't do the fucking bullshit you did again. But the thing that you brought up there that I did want to mention is I don't necessarily need Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer to go full on Gavin Newsom and be like, Mississippi's a dog shit state. But I do need them to stop lying to us about they have worked with these Republicans and they know that they're good people and they expect them to, be the good people and come to their senses. If you've been working with these people for the past 2 decades, you would know that they're not going to do that. They've never come to their senses ever. That's not what they fucking do. You don't have to you don't have to be overly mean. I don't need that from you. That's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and nor do I want it to be. But don't fucking glaze the Republicans for no fucking reason. That's a lie. You know they're not going to. If they were decent thinking people, they wouldn't be supporting Donald Trump in the first place. Like, the fact that you're treating them like they're normal politicians who deserve any fucking respectability is what normalizes all this craziness. Like, I just don't understand. And you saying that also makes you sound dumb as shit. It makes you sound dumb as shit. The Republicans who listen to you say that, even the independents, they're like, well, we know these guys are dumb assholes, but at least they're not fucking lying about that. At least they know they're dumb assholes. These guys apparently can't even see that they're dumb assholes. They're even dumber assholes. Like, I don't even know.
Oh, John, I wrote in all caps. That is a great point. That is a great fucking... That's so right. I can't think of a time in which I viewed Republicans as reasonable, rational people that made the best decisions, that had the goodwill of the country in mind. Maybe you could say that if you were like when Republicans and Democrats were a lot more similar, like in the 1980s. Like if you I guess Nancy Pelosi was back then, and so was Chuck Schumer, ironically. Maybe that's what they're talking about. Back when there was like very little daylight between the Republicans and Democrats back then, it was all bad, but I can still see that. But yeah, Hakeem Jeffries, get the fuck out of here. You don't remember a single time Republicans have been rational, good actors. So yeah, it's stupid. But all right, we got to wrap things up here. John, before we go, How's married life treating you? What's the difference? Have you noticed any difference in the last 72 hours you've been married? How have things been?
So, it's actually funny, TJ. So we are about to go to the airport on Sunday. We get a text message from one of the bridesmaids. She has COVID. Yolanda has COVID now, and so we're so it's just been shit. It's been really bad so far, TJ. Married life not off to a great start. Just sickness and airplane rides as far as the eye can see. Hopefully it turns around soon. But yeah, I am glad to be living it at least.
Yo, damn. Wait, did you get tested? Yeah, I assume you sound fine at least.
I probably I got a sore throat and sniffles. I tank shit. Like when I get sick, it's really bad, but I don't often get sick. Like she's been sick and I've been fine. So I'm okay. She's the one who's up there.
This is gonna be a hilarious conversation when John's just unable to do the show on Thursday. He's just dying like a dog. It's gonna be great. But we got
like a dog. All right, who do we got on Thursday, TJ? Is it? Oh, TJ has a work thing. Going to just seeing Kyle. Kyle asked John, "Are you introverted? Are you an introvert?" No, I am not, Kyle. I don't know if you can tell by the fact that I do a live stream every Tuesday and Thursday where I talk to the public forever. Introverts tend to have more mild symptoms of disease. No, I'm bucking that trend if that is true, Kyle. That no one has ever described John Cooper as an introvert.
I haven't heard about introverts having milder symptoms. Like, it's because they get sick less because they're around fewer people. I don't know, but I haven't heard that. But interesting. But all right, do we got anyone for Thursday, John?
I think it's Natalie. I think Natalie will be on Thursday. I have to double check with her, but I believe Natalie will be our guest on Thursday. So great friend of the show, Natalie Bensavenga should be back. Make sure to be here on Thursday at 6:35 EST, as usual, for another great episode of The Left Wing. TJ, before we wrap it up, any last words?
Nope. Just looking forward to another show. So happy I got to see John. I played for the show a great bit. Like there's a guest we had, Conservatory of the Ozarks, who we've had on. Had on the show. She comments several times, and she is my girlfriend, Heather. And I never told John. I had no reason to hide it from him whatsoever. I just thought it'd be funny to one day let him know, and then he cares. Okay, definitely holding on to that. And she thought I was ridiculous for doing this. She said, "TJ, John's not gonna care. Like he's gonna whatever." But the look on John's face, incredible. He's like, "Whoa, holy shit!" And so that was a great moment.
It was an A+ bit, Heather. You were so wrong about that. That was, I was so like, that made my day. It didn't make my day. Other things made that day. but it did. Right? It was a very funny bit. The commitment to the bit is what made it even funnier. And it was funny because she was wearing big sunglasses. And of course, this is right before my wedding. My brain is going a million miles an hour. So I was like, huh, she looks familiar. I was like, holy shit. No, that was very funny. That was incredible. Thank you very much for that bit, DJ. Heather, listen to this man when it comes to bits. He's usually right about them.
Great. One thing. So Heather commented. So Heather Heather and I sat at a table with two of your friends. One was named Jillian. I don't remember one's name. We had a conversation. What was that?
Carly was the other one's name.
Carly, yeah. And they were incredible people. And Heather was talking to them for a while, and she's like, how come John hasn't had these two people on the show? These two people have incredible lives and great stories. So Heather wants to say, John, don't forget to invite your two friends on the show. That's Heather's homework assignment.
I will. If they want to come on, they have a guest spot. And we'll make sure to have Heather on, too, for that episode.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh! Reunion. That's fantastic. She said she was so wrong. Yeah, you're right. So, okay. All right, folks. Thanks so much for watching The Left Wing. We will catch you next time. Have a good evening.
See you later.